Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it, yeah. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them, yeah. And Connie got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the fofo. This for the fofo. This for the fofo.
All right, everybody, welcome back here. It is already week 4 for the Lake Show, live from Los Compadres. My name is Sam Torres, and I am here, as always, with the head ball coach. It's Terry Henton, and we are here to talk about all things Lakeside. Now, for those of you who are out there watching, if you haven't cooked already, do yourself a favor. Come down here to Los Compadres and get some of the best authentic Mexican cuisine that you're ever going to eat. I'll tell you what, if you want to see the type of stuff they're making, make sure you head over to our social media page. I posted a picture of the fiesta, the smorgasbord that they put out for us. You know, we got full bellies and full hearts, and we're going to have ourselves a great show tonight. Yeah. Terry, as always, thanks for joining me back on the show.
Appreciate it.
So, you know, we get ready. We are, believe it or not, we're in week 4 of the high school football season already.
Flying by.
You know, before we start talking about last week, let's talk. I mean, how does it feel for you? You know what I mean? This is something that, you know, you said since January, it hasn't stopped for even 1 second.
Right.
And you're already halfway through or 10 weeks away from the end of the season.
There you go. It's a quiet storm. You know, like right when you think you got it, something else is coming. Right when you think you're good at this, something. It's kind of like golf. You know, you can't master it. So that's kind of like where I am. But like every day I say to myself, you can't ask God for it and then say it's too much. So that's where I'm at mentally. These losses are getting too much. God, come on now, God. But you know, it's just I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, man. It's a dream come true to be the head coach in my hometown. So.
Yeah, you know, you said it's not like golf. You can't master it unless you're Sean Allgood. He believes he mastered it.
Nah, he still has it. He mastered that pencil sometimes. that foot wedge away. Nah.
But you know, so let's talk just a little bit about last week. And you know, one of the things I like about you, Terry, is you know you're loud when you win, and you're still listening when you don't. You know, the game didn't obviously go the way you planned it.
Right.
You know, some things went wrong, some things went right. But I want to start off the show today. Let's talk about some of the good. You know what I mean? A lot of times, like you said last week, it's a lot easier. People say you learn from more from a loss. But what were some of the things during that game that you saw that you liked?
You know, we were averaging over 5 yards a carry. So we were on board, but so our running backs did a heck of a job finding a hole, getting what you could. First contact wasn't stopping them. They were falling forward. That was the goal. Running a straight line, that was our goal. Don't put your heels on the ground. So they did an awesome job of doing that, getting to the edge and then trusting who you are. Run the play and then be you. But we need you to run the play. So we were going into the game. We knew we could like get 4 or 5 yards a pop, and they were doing that. But we just had a couple costly fumbles. Couldn't hold on to the ball. There was no more wet on our sidelines than their sidelines, but they were able to hold on the ball a little more than we did. So,
so you're telling me it was raining for both teams?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You know, in Houston and Florida, it might rain on one side of the street, but in Florida, in Ohio, it rains on both sides of the street. And it was raining on both sides of the field. And I take my hat off to those guys. They came in ready to. They didn't. You know, they were. I can't say desperate, but they came in like they didn't want to go 0-3, and we went in hoping that we could be 2-1. So I think that was the difference. They came out and they really, no, we're not going home 0-3. And we got a same battle this week. Like somebody's coming in here desperate, and I hope we learn our lesson from playing against somebody whose back is against the wall, and they're looking at you. Now you just gotta. Your back is against the wall now, so we're in a corner, like we're in a small room with each other, and somebody has to walk out the door at the end of this. So, I put my money on. I can't say money. I can't put that money.
We say the mustard.
Yeah,
on YSM, we call it the mustard line. So he's putting the mustard.
Yeah, I'm putting the mustard on our team. We learned, like they say, we learned from that loss. Put in a lot of work this week, fixing what we did wrong. Handball, handling the ball drills, exchanges, stop blocking, all the things that cost us. But it's at the same time, we didn't stop doing what we were doing. But we, as coaches, we emphasize it on every play. Like, hey, you need to be telling somebody that they need to sustain that block a little bit longer. All 5 of them on the line didn't do it. All the receivers didn't do it. Did you go close foot? I mean, near foot when you were breaking down the stock blocking. All these types of things. That's what we were working on this week. So that game, we're learning who we are as well as building for the future. So, hey, this is who we are. We can build on this part. Next week, after Friday, we're going to learn a little bit more about ourselves, and we're going to keep building on that. It just stinks that we got to learn these in losses. I'd rather learn these mistakes and still win. But I take like if somebody wants to give me the credit, then I'm here for all the blame. So it's on me. I gotta, okay, if they're fumbling, it's because I'm not drilling it. If the quarterback isn't passing the ball right, it's because I'm not drilling it. So it's my job. I take all the blame. I take all the credit. I take whatever. So I promise you, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it better. I promise you that.
So, you've got a pretty good mix of, I won't say that this is a team full of veterans, but even your junior class, there's a lot of football. There's a lot of downs underneath of those guys. You've got some key seniors, like Nate Bartone that are going to come in there and give you some big time leadership, some big time quarters, some big time plays. But I think where the biggest lack of experience this year, and this is no surprise to you, was on the offensive line. And this is a group of kids that is growing every single game. And while I typically spend a lot of time, kind of focusing and harping on the wide receivers, the running backs, the guys who, fill the stat sheet, what are some of the things that you as a head coach are seeing from this offensive line from game 1 to game 3 that has improved?
You want your offensive line to be friends. You want them to be a cohesive group that they see and talk to each other, and they know what you're going to do. And it's the unwritten rules and the unspoken words that you hope for, and that's what they're getting. Our line is growing to that, where I know when so and so is next to me, this is what he's going to do. When we see this look, this is what we say to each other. You can start hearing more and more conversations. Okay, we gave you all of the language throughout the summer, throughout January, from January to now, we gave you all the language. But now they're starting to understand why I'm calling this. When this look is here, why I'm doing this and why he should be doing this because I'm doing this. Like that relationship is getting better and better amongst those guys. And a lot of them will be back next year talking the same language with each other. We have we got our seniors are quiet, but they've stepped up a lot. They made the difference. They made a huge difference in us because when we first took over the team, it wasn't a lot of them showing up, but now they've bought in a ton. So now on that offensive line, it was very, very young. Now it's becoming senior laden. So those guys are taking their lumps the most, like in the off season. Those are the guys who are putting in the work. Like we as coaches, we cut some things out of practice and add some things into practice all the time. But the one thing that's consistent is the offensive individual drills. That's consistent. That doesn't change. So they're continually growing on the tasks things, the task-oriented things. And I can't ask anything better from my coaches. They're always on their butts. You can hear their voices from 40 yards away. Always ABC, we say that at practice, always be coaching. So, and they're always coaching. So I take my hat off to those guys for that.
So we talked about some of the things you liked, that you like to see some of the positives on there. But obviously, there's always some things that you wanted to improve on. There's some things that maybe even that maybe Gerard helped your guys learn, that sort of thing. Or I'm sorry, but Niles helped your guys learn, and whether it's baptism by fire or not. What are some of the things you think that you wanted to improve on, or what are some things that you think Niles gave a reminder that you got to get better at this?
It's just taking the game serious. It's not the game. It's everything that leads up to that. Am I really taking my warm up serious? Am I being a teammate at 4 o'clock? Am I finding a reason not to be locked in? Because when they got off the bus, they were locked in. We had weather delays and all these types of things, but we have to learn that a distraction is a distraction, regardless of what it is. It's not going to be a smooth road. We don't know what it's going to be. Friday was the rain. This week it might be something different, but there's going to be a bump in the road. And Niall showed us that I'm still going to go 60 miles per hour. Like, if I go 30, I'm going to feel that bump because I'm going to slow down. Either I have to stop or I got to go full speed, and they decided to go full speed. So that's where our guys need to be. But that's from both of our losses, or because we came out on the. I guess I could say we come on the field hoping that we got it right, and the teams that we faced came out and like, hey, we got a plan and we like it and we're going to do it. And we're and those are the things that we're learning from them. So you steal some things, you implement it into your offense.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's absolutely right. I mean, every game should give you something new that you're going to incorporate, whether you are 10-0 or 0-10. You've always got to be grabbing something from each and every game. But, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming matchup. Again, Niles is Niles, and congratulations to them on the win. And we move on, we move forward. You guys are going against another very hungry team, as we talked about in West Geauga. And I won't say their team mascot because I don't say curse words. But, they're coming into this one 0-3, similar to last year when they were 0-4. And as we talked a little bit before the show, one of the best 0-4s in the state last year. They're coming in 0-3, very, very tried and true. What are some things that you're looking at with this West Geauga game?
The things that they do right.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at. Like, it's literally like, hey, let's stop looking at what they do wrong. Like, what do they do right? And prepare for what they do right. Don't sit here and say, oh, he stinks, coach, or he's this or he's that. Like, no, that's not what we're watching film. What we're watching film on is what is he banking on? Where's his wheelhouse? The guy across from you, the three guys that are going to rotate in that position, where are their wheelhouse? When so and so is in the game, how is he going to be? How is he going to attack you, or how are you going to attack him? Vice versa. Now you're the opponent, not just the whole team, but the guys that are going to be in your area. Like, now what are they good at? And we're trying to work on the levels of football. Like a A-level football player knows his job. Like the A, B, and C. The B-level football player knows everybody's job on his side of the football. The C-level player knows everybody's job on the football field. And we're trying to get a lot of people to that B and C area. But we're stuck in that A area where I only know my job. And once we start to learn what my neighbor's job is and what my teammate, my brother's job is, it makes my job easier. So we have to communicate more. So that's what we're doing, communicating the blitzes more on offense, understanding that my responsibility is going to change because they have a guy on the edge or they have a guy in the middle. How is that going to change our blocking scheme? Are we going to slide this protection? Are we going to stay where we are? We're going to go big on big, or these things. Now, if we're running the ball for the outside zone, does it change my footsteps going up the field? Inside zone, all these types of things. Like, we're trying to instill that in their mind. Like, the picture is going to change. My job doesn't. So again, we're learning. We don't know until we know. So we see it on film. We see what what we're building, and then we see what we were hoping, and we're trying to get rid of the hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's kind of hard to change on the fly if you don't know where the consequences are, because sometimes
Right.
you're changing into somebody else's job or hindering them from doing their job. So yeah, I can see where those level B and C, that B and C knowledge is going to come into the game. One of the things I wanted to ask you, because through 3 weeks of football, I've seen special teams has played such a huge game in not just lakeside football, really countywide, and I would venture to say most likely statewide. Special teams has been a huge point of interest, whether it's the kickoff, the field goals, the kickoff returns. How much of that is something you guys are spending time on as Lakeside Dragons?
More and more every week. You don't, when you're first installing everything, you're installing the two major keys, the offense and the defense. And then you realize we have to spend a little bit more time on this, and this. So special teams in July and August was 3%.
Yeah.
So now more and more it's getting there, because now it's I keep saying it, but we don't know until we know. Like, can our kicker? Yeah, our kicker can kick far, but can they kick when there's pressure? I know my punter can punt when there's nothing, but can he punt when there's pressure? I know you can throw all these types of things. So my special teams is gaining ground. We just got to keep away from the freaking middle of the field. It's killing me. But it's they're 15, 16 years old, and their brains shut off so many times, and you just gotta hope it's not the kicker's brain who shuts off.
I would venture to say that as a high school coach, that I think that is the one implement, or the one part of coaching that people forget. We all play Madden. We all play NCAA. It's always fun to get on paper or get on a whiteboard and draw this, and this. But when you're dealing with 15, 16-year-old kids, believing that they're going to make the right decision 100% of the time, you've never met a kid.
There you go. And with special teams, teams think it's the break. Like, I don't need to be out there. So, like, the most disarray that we have is when the superstars think that they're superstars, and I don't have to. Oh, I just scored. I didn't realize I had to go out there. Like, when we don't score, you got to go out there. So no, it's your duty. It's a frame of mind. Like, so it's not really our kicker and punter that we're worried about all the time on those things. It's really the other 10. Like, are you invested? And that's what you have to find. It's not about your best 11 guys. It's your most invested 10 plus your punter or your kicker. Because your superstar could be great, but he stinks at blocking on the edge on an extra point, whatever. So you want to get your most invested players that you have, and I guess me, from where I stand in my career right now, like, it's taking me a while to find those 11. Like, you think this 11 is invested, but in the third quarter,
yeah,
he's pulling his money out of.
Well, yeah, it's always interesting to me, because every year when you look in the NFL, when you look in college, even, that's where a lot of these guys make their difference. You talk about the investment in special teams, and I think it's not something that's just at the high school level. That's where a lot of guys, I think, find their way. Like, this is where I'm going to make a big difference.
If you're not Jeremiah Smith, you're being your own special team. Like, if you go to college, you're gonna be on special teams. If you're not Ryan Anderson, the kid from Alabama, you're on special teams if you want to play, especially as a young guy. So they need to learn how to do it in high school, because I promise you, none of you guys are level A, and I'm coming to school and I'm going to start as a freshman, and because we don't have the weight yet.
Yeah.
Like, let alone, it's like you're gonna have to gain 30 pounds before they even think about you. So that's the part of the game that you have to learn how to play, because that's the part of the game that there's head hunting and there's all these things. Keep your head on the swivel. That's football.
Yeah.
You get through the special teams portion of it, and your head is still on your shoulders. You can play any portion of the game after that.
So, just kind of continuing on that special teams portion, coming up on Friday, I think you're going to be going up against one of what I believe is the best kickers in Northeast Ohio. In West Geauga. They've got just an absolutely phenomenal ace kicker, good from 40, 45 yards almost every time. Does that change your approach at all? I mean, I think it's really easy to kind of key on a quarterback and key on, a defensive end or a running back. But, a lot of times people kind of don't take into account that, when you only got to get 45 yards out.
Right. So, that's part of that's Coach Baker's job. No, but,
D, you heard him.
But that's in the back of your mind. But when a kid can kick from the 30-yard line, that's a lot of ground. So if the offense gets to the 30-yard line, this kid can kick a field goal. That's a lot of pressure. I call it the 40-40 club. From the 40 to the 40, that's where you make or break.
That's where you're winning the ball game.
Yeah. So while you're in the 40-40 club, as soon as he gets outside the 40-40 club, he can kick. That's a lot. So we hope that we can keep him in the 40-40 club for a little longer. Stay in that area. Keep him out of that. I call it the gold zone. Keep it out of the 20. Like
the Bartone zone, which is the 5.
Yeah. So inside that 20, it's money. Keep them out of that area because they're going to come out with something 6 or 6 or 7. So get out, keep them out of that area, keep them out of the money area, and we'll be doing a good job.
All right, and the final question I'm going to give you for tonight, coming up this week, you got a big game against West Geauga. It's the second home game. Mm-hmm. The crowd, there was a pretty decent crowd there, even with the rain and everything going on at Lakeside. What are some things that you want to make sure you get right, and what can we expect out of Lakeside this week when they go round 2 of their home opener?
Control chaos. That's what we want to look like, especially on defense. We want to be barking the whole game, letting us know who's where's what do we see. Offense barking, you're gonna see a lot and hear a lot that you haven't seen from us, where we're being demonstrative about my job. I don't care if you know my job. I need to know that my buddy knows my job. If you overhear me, come get it. So it's really communication is huge. That's what we want to bank on. That's what you're going to see a lot of. We're going to put the ball in our stars' hands. We got 4 or 5 guys who can get the ball.
That's a fact.
And it's about time that we start getting on the ball. Every week we're getting more and more comfortable. Less and less plays are staying on the play band. They're just repeating them now. So we're finding our niche. I tell the guys all the time, when you go to a nice neighborhood with all the nice houses, does anybody ever talk about the foundation? No one ever says that's a nice foundation on that mansion. So I'm saying, if we want a mansion, we got to spend a lot of time on this foundation. And I think we put some bricks in, took some bricks out of this foundation. Now it's starting to start building on top of it.
You love to hear it. I'll tell you what, we're going to go to our first break. But before we go to our break, we are going to show a hype video for the Lakeside Dragons. It's really, really outstanding. Shout out to Anthony Oquendo, Oquendo Productions, for Cracked. I'll tell you what, if you got any problems with these cell phones or anything like that, you got to head over to Cracked. He'll get you right. Did an absolutely phenomenal job. We'll follow that with some advertisements. And then when we come back, it's week 2, folks. You're getting another dose of Bartone, followed by Tierre Anderson, who's going to be our Scout Player of the Week. My name is another starter making big moves on the Scout team. This is Sam Torres on the Lake Show. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats.
Go Dogs.
Go Tigers.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Nestled here in the beauty and splendor of Mill Creek Metro Parks are two of America's best golf courses, as selected by Golf Week magazine. Ranked number 9 in Ohio by TripAdvisor. Come play like a pro on these award-winning Donald Ross-designed courses. Enjoy a round with your kids and unwind with your favorite food and drinks in the grill room. For championship golf, look no further than your backyard. Mill Creek Golf Course.
All right, everybody, welcome back here to the Lake Show, live from Los Compadres. Let me turn this up. I mean, not that you're not going to be able to hear me. I can guarantee that. But I am here. That's right, folks. You are not seeing this rerun. This is Nate Bartone, who gets the Dragon Player of the Week again as the senior steps up in a big way. And I'll tell you what, Bartone, it's not really a surprise with all that rain dropping down. There's one guy who's got to keep the ball. It's the bulldozer. It's Nate Bartone. Going into that game last week, what were some of the things that, went well for you on that Friday night? What were some things that, maybe you would have liked to improve on?
Well, we were running the ball good. We just really couldn't hold on to it. The rain was getting to us, but we were running the ball pretty good. And what was the other question?
What were some things that, you wanted to improve on? What were some things that went well?
Well, I mean, we obviously wanted to improve on running the ball, and I'm pretty sure we did that pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the rain, we couldn't really hold on to the ball, but we were still getting the running lanes that we could, so we were trying our best.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you talk about the offensive side of the ball, the ability to hold on to the ball. It's a little bit tricky when it gets slippery out there. But, when you're playing on the defensive side of the ball, what were some of the things you were seeing that, went well? And what were some things that you're like, man, I wish I would have did that different?
We were, as a unit, we were honestly playing good defense. We were filling our gaps as linebackers. And we were playing all right defense, but they just got us in a couple plays, so.
Yeah, football's a crazy sport. It only takes a quick second, and before you know it, they're out of there. You're a senior, and you've been through some winning seasons, you've been through some losing seasons, you've been everywhere in between. What are some of the things that you're trying to do to help kind of get through this? It's a tougher start. You guys started on fire. It's been a 2-week skid. What are some things you're doing to try and keep the team morale up or get people to get off their butt and start working?
Like more energy at practice, honestly, and just taking every rep 100%, getting in shape so we can all be ready on Friday.
That's big. I mean, going 100% of the time, that's what you need. One of the things I've talked to in the past, off camera, with head coach Tierre Anderson is, 50% doesn't get you anywhere out here. We don't got anybody there, that can go 50% and still succeed. So you got to give everything you've got every single time. But let's talk a little bit about practice this week. You know what I mean? It's always Monday's a tough day, after a loss on Friday. But what are some things that you're seeing in practice this week, not only for yourself, but as the team, as you guys get ready?
A lot more people are stepping up, a lot more leadership, a lot more people are talking, trying to improve us. So, and everyone really seems like zoned in too. Like I just said, everyone's taking 100% at every rep we do. So I think we should come up with the dub this week.
Yeah, I love to hear it. You know what I mean? There's got to be that personal investment, right? You talk about everybody's got to defend their home front. You got to treat like that field is yours. And as a senior, that field belongs to you more than almost anybody.
Yeah.
So getting ready to go into West Geauga this week, what do you want to make sure you get accomplished? What is something Nate Bartone has to do if the Dragons are going to come out on top?
Probably have a good game on offense, probably 100 yards.
Oh, okay. Hey, throw some numbers out there. I'm not mad at you. Get 100 yards out there, and on the defensive side, what are some things you got to make sure you're doing?
Definitely tackling better and just reading my gaps and reading the linemen and filling the holes and doing my job.
That's all it's got to be done, folks. Nate Bartone, if he's in the zone, call it quits, baby. We got to get you inside that Bartone zone so we can trademark it, throw it on some T-shirts, and get this thing going.
Might have to.
All right, everybody. That's this week. It's week 2 here with Nate Bartone, the Dragon Player of the Week. Now, just so you guys know, this is an award that is decided amongst the team as well. So, they decide who's going to be their Player of the Week, as well as our next guest, who's going to be Tierre Anderson, who is also there. So, what can you say about Tierre? As you get to be as close to that guy as anybody because you two man the middle.
And he hits hard. He hits really hard. And he don't care about who's in front of him. He's gonna hit them no matter who is in front of him. So
you love to hear it. I'm telling you, man.
I love my guy Tierre.
Iron sharpens iron, and that is an iron guy right there. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I'm telling you what, the way you're playing, you might be here as much as Coach Hent. Well, we'll bring on our next guest. It's going to be Tierre Anderson when we come back here. Just a quick break, and we'll get back to it. Our Scout Team Player of the Week.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Shopping for a vehicle online should be easy and worry-free. Introducing Merge from Greenwood Chevrolet, a completely new way to buy a car that combines the convenience of shopping online with the personal touch and expertise that Greenwood is known for. With Merge, shopping is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Choose a vehicle from our pre-owned inventory, build a deal that fits your needs, and finalize the deal with our online buying team. That's car buying in a new lane. Visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and let us go the extra mile for you.
All right, everybody, I'm back here after the break, and we've got our Dragon Scout Team Player of the Week, and this one is another special one, folks. It's another starter who goes on the opposite side of the ball and tries to ruin the day of the guys he's got to play with on Friday. It's Tierre Anderson. This is a junior right here at Lakeside. Tierre, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell you what, man, listen, leave some hand for me, my guy.
Hey, firm handshake.
But, so Tierre, you are a junior this year with this Lakeside Dragons team. starting in the middle at the linebacker position. But, when Coach Henton calls on you this week to play on the offensive side, making a big difference, trying to keep everybody sharp. Why is scout team so important for you to go that hard?
Honestly, well, the answer I give the coach is to make the offensive better. But really, when I go out there, it's like for me, because I'll line up wherever they need me is wherever I go. I'll go on the D line, middle linebacker, wherever. But when I'm on the D line, I'm working on trying to get my hands better, trying to get some moves in. On the middle linebacker, I'm trying to work my eyes, read the quarterback, get to my zones as fast as possible. Like I take the scout offense, defense, whatever it is, I take that time for me to work on myself. I'm getting my teammates better too as I go because I'm not going easy, but I take that time for me, honestly.
Well, yeah, you know what? We talk about that. We were just talking about that with Nate as well. It's the 100%, right?
Yeah.
If you're giving 100%, you're requiring 100% from whoever you're going against. So you're making everybody better in the process. But, is there, as a starter, sometimes that's a little bit of a harder thing to get your head around is, maybe playing with the guys who aren't starting. And, was there ever that moment in your head, or was this immediately, no matter what, Tyree is here for the team?
Yeah, I'm getting out there. Wherever they need me is wherever they need me, that's where I'm going. I'm making them better too because maybe I do something good. They're watching what I'm doing. Like as a starter, I wouldn't say they look up to me, but maybe if I get back there in the backfield, or sometimes they'll call me a scout defense All-American. some they'll rewatch or try to replay what I did, like basically fix the offense and the defense. They're trying to figure out what I did to make them look bad, really. So it's like a learning experience for everybody.
Well, something I think that people don't realize that is the scout team. If the toughest player you've seen all week is happening Monday through Thursday, it makes Friday a whole lot better for you.
Yeah.
And if you're taking it serious and you're keeping these guys on it, that's the only way they're going to get better is if you keep going that tough. But, let's talk a little bit about school. Let's talk a little bit about the off season. So, what are you doing in school? What's your favorite part of school? As a junior, you got a lot of stuff going on.
School, really, I just try to fly through school. I take all the classes I need to get. I'm really not, I wouldn't say I'm not big on school, but me growing up, I've always been A-B household, can't get no C's or else.
I love it.
I mean, it's not a punishment, but it's looked down upon because I've never gotten bad grades before. So it's really just I fly through school, good grades, stay out of trouble, stay out the way, do whatever I got to do to just make it.
I'll tell you what, I believe it. And, I've got a personal relationship with this one right here only because I wouldn't want to answer to Tyree's mom. There is no way. Absolutely not. If she says A, B, she don't mean B minus. So, taking that seriously. But, outside of school, what are some of the things that you're doing to get better? Are you spending time in the gym? Are you playing other sports? What are you doing to find yourself?
I play other sports, but really I take it's the knowledge part that I try and get. Like my uncle, he's the head coach for Edgewood. I ask him questions about me personally, what he thinks I could do, where he thinks I'd fit best at. And film humbles you a lot.
Yes, it does.
That's one thing I've learned. Film humbles. I think I'm doing so good Friday night. I deserve this. I deserve that. You watch film, you're terrible. Terrible. You notice and when you're at Saturday morning, when the coach is telling you what you're doing wrong, you might not even notice it watching it on your own. So I just take it like constructive criticism. Whatever, I go to whoever's closest, like Coach Terry. My uncle is really who I talk to. I show him clips like what I did right, what I did wrong, how I could do to fit. Like watching my sophomore year is really what I go back to. It was bad. It was bad. That's why I try and play on scout team and everything I see that I did bad in the past, I might fix it. I might not make it better, but at least I know that I did it wrong. And so when I do it in game, it's not going to happen again.
Well, you can't get better if you already think you're the best, right? So, one of the things you got to do is be humble. And that's something that obviously has resonated with you. And you talk about, you've got a great person to run into here as Coach Tierre Henton and, having another head coach right there at your beck and call in Uncle Elijah Cooper, who's a head coach over there at Edgewood. You got a heck of a knowledge basis to pull from. But you say you do play other sports. What are some other sports that you take part in?
Track and field, and I might go to the wrestling route? Maybe, because I heard that it makes you better at football. We're really track and field, like the lifting part, the throwing part, the technique part, like paying attention to the little details. In other sports, it'll help me like sharpen paying attention to the small details in any sport that I play.
Listen, if my recommendation holds anything, I will tell you right now, wrestlers make the best football players.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, I've never seen a wrestler afraid of contact, afraid to make a tackle, and most of the time the technique's already there because they're taking down people all season.
Yeah.
So if you're considering it, that's definitely something that can help somebody as big and strong as you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you grow about 4 inches a year since I've known you. As a baby, I can't wear your shoes no more.
Not even close. Honestly, I think the only thing stopping me from wrestling was the uniform. I couldn't wear that uniform. I still, to this day, I gotta wear shorts over it or something. I would have played last year if that uniform wasn't so tight.
Well, you guys heard it here, wrestling coach over at Lakeside. Maybe you guys got to make some concessions here so we can get Big Ty, the guy, out there on the mat. Ty, what were some things that on Friday, what are some things that you did well, and what are some things that you want to improve on?
Improve on for sure. Watching film, I got to keep my head up. Like I get so close to making the tackle, or I could have maneuvered this way if I would have kept my head up. And honestly, I think my glasses are holding me back, man. I got to get some contacts.
I know you're a young guy, but do you remember Horace Grant?
Yeah, he had
Listen,
the goggles.
We might have to go rec specs.
I'm getting contacts, but the glasses, like just trying to worry about if they fall off. If I get my glasses off and I get contacts and I keep my head up, I feel I'd be a completely different player. Things that I did good. Like I said, watching film, it doesn't really look like you did anything good. But I feel like at that point, I was playing middle linebacker, so I fill the holes that I see personally, and I'm not scared to go hit somebody. It might look like I'm stutter stepping and all that, but I'm not scared. That's just me getting all in my head. But I'll go hit somebody if I gotta go hit somebody. I'll chase you down the field wherever.
Listen, right now, Coach Baker, his smile goes from here to here.
Yeah.
I mean, he loves to hear that as a defensive coordinator. Coming up this week, you guys got to we'll call it the home opener round 2. Okay, we're going to throw that last week out. You guys are going against a West Geauga team that's had a tough start, but by far can't be overlooked. What are some things that you, Tierre Anderson, has to get done if the Lakeside Dragons are getting their second win of the year?
I just got to work on my technique, working with my hands, making sure my eyes go where they need to go and keeping my head up. Really, it's my hands. I got to work on my hands because I try and lead into people, my shoulder pads, and I'm not going to win the game. I'm going to be downing my team, honestly, if I don't fix that. I got to.
You love to hear it. Listen, I'm telling you, rec specs, they can only make fun of you until you run them over. Yeah. All right. Nobody makes fun of a guy when they're looking up at him. I'm just saying.
They already call me glasses. You can't get no worse than that, man.
That was outstanding. Well, I wanted to tell you congratulations on getting that scout team. I am going to get the honor and the privilege of calling Lakeside this week for the West Geauga game at Lakeside. So I get to go back to my alumnus, my home over there at Lakeside. So I'm really, really excited to go out there and call it and not only get to see Tierre Anderson in the middle, get to see the Bartone zone live in color, get to see J. Anthony, Jaws, Devin Miller, Czar, you name it. I'm ready for it. Lakeside, get ready for a big game this week. Thanks for coming on the show, Tierre. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell you what, folks, I can't make a better closing one than that one. So that's probably going to do it for this week. I'm really, really excited about the things going on over here at Lakeside. If you want to get some great Mexican food. Now, Ty, how'd you like the food tonight?
Hey, you go get my plate right now. Half that stuff's gone. I'll tell you right now.
I'll tell you, there's no better way to sell it than to show the empty plates. It's absolutely phenomenal. We want to send a huge shout out to the Navarro family, Luis and Marisol, as well as the entire Los Compadres organization for hosting us here. It's fantastic food. Make sure you come down here and get it. Taco Tuesdays, the best margaritas, as long as you're of age, or if you're not, get a virgin. You can find them right here at Los Compadres. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Sam Torres. This is The Lake Show. And as always, folks, this is for the 440.
This for the 440. This for the 440. For the city and the back roads. Got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the 4-4 chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it, yeah. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda y'all flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the 4-4. This for the 4-4. This for the 4-4.